Have Cardo just made motovlogging a little bit easier? Let's find out. Hi, Tony here, welcome to the channel. This is a very quick and dirty video because I wanted to get this one out pretty quickly. But one of the biggest challenges that people come across when they start to motovlog or just record stuff and their journeys on their bike is to get decent audio. Action cameras are fantastic now, whether you use DJI or GoPro or Insta360, the quality of those is second to none really, but trying to get decent audio is really difficult. Anybody that does this will know they've all tried different microphone setups, all sorts of things have been going on with this, but there's a new announcement that's just come out from Cardo which may change all of that. In the last couple of days, Cardo have just announced a new voice recording function which can be used with their units. Now, I've got a Packtalk Edge and I know that is a compatible device, and I'll put a list of the compatible devices on the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. As I say, this is a quick and dirty video. So how do you get this new functionality? Well, all you have to do is update the firmware of your device, then download or update the latest version of the Cardo Connect app. When you open that, you'll notice that there is a record button at the top. Just click that and it will record the audio from your device. It will also record not only yours but any other audio from people that you're connected in. So if you're riding with somebody else and want to catch that conversation, it will record all of that. Now, this could be a little bit of a game changer for motovlogging and content creation, because although there's solutions there, I use a GoPro Hero 10 with a media mod and a Rode microphone plugged into that, and it works pretty well. I have to play around with it a little bit, depending on what helmet I'm wearing to get the acoustics right in post-processing, but it's not bad. You get a good amount of ambient sound. But this, if you've already got a Cardo unit on there, you just smack a camera on the front, use this to record, sync them up afterwards, and I'll show you how to do that. There's no wires, there's no microphones, there's no having to kind of have all that business kicking around. So this could be an interesting solution, and let's see how we get on. Now, I'll record this bit on the Insta360, so hopefully the audio for this is good enough. I'm somewhere where it's pretty quiet and not much wind. Okay, so that's on, it's connected straight away to the app, and I'll show you this on the screen, but there's a little voice recording button at the top there. If you press that, that opens up any previous recordings that you've done, and then you just hit that button to start recording, and away it goes. So if I hit that button, that is now recording. I can put my phone away somewhere safe. I'll start this baby up. Okay, so that's now recording. To sync it, I normally use a 3-clap system, so I'll get a visual cue on the cameras, and in the audio I'll have 3 spikes, line those up in post-processing, and everything should be synced. So let's give it a go. This is me talking at the normal level that I would do with the mic setup that I've got at the moment. Obviously with the visor open. I will shut that vent just to stop any air coming in to the microphone that's in on here. And it'll be interesting to see not just the voice recording but what ambient sounds you get, because from the GoPro you do get some pretty decent ambient sounds. Again, there's some stuff I've discovered just playing with it earlier on today. If you've got the active noise cancelling or voice cancelling, I think it is, in place, then you might have heard that bleep. That's my Africa Twin connecting to the phone. Doing it again, that might be interesting to see how that works. But yeah, there's an active noise cancelling or voice cancelling, or kind of a so that you don't get background noise when you're talking to other people. You can switch that on in the Cardo app. So there's one thing I've discovered already, is that if you've got an Africa Twin and you connect this to it, that's interrupted the recording on this. Okay, so let's disconnect that. What was happening was this was connecting to this here, and that paused the recording. So I don't know if you've missed any of that, but yeah, what I was saying was that there's a function on here that turns the sort of mutes your voice as you're talking. I'll put a screen of the phone on here to show you what that is. With that switched on, I found the audio was cutting in and out when I was testing it at home, which I thought, this isn't a great start. Switch that off, and it's no problem. It continues to record. So I don't have to make this a particularly long test, to be honest, but we'll get an idea of what it's like. So this is with the visor open at a slow pace. Evening. Okay, it's up to 20 miles an hour. Let's shut the visor. And this is what normally causes a bit of problems. You'll either have the setup ready to go and working with the visor open, and when you close it, it changes it, or vice versa. And that's where I normally have to play around a little bit. In Final Cut Pro, there's an option in the audio settings called Create Space, which kind of adds it does what it says, it creates space. So because you're in a confined environment here with the visor closed, normally switching that on helps kind of open up the voice recording a little bit. But so far so good. Let's get out on the open road. Now I'm using the DJI Osmo Action 3 camera, which I bought recently. I really do like this camera. I think it seems to have less of an issue with overheating and battery life than the GoPro. But connecting microphones is really tricky. I've tried the DJI wireless mic, which I've got. That works well, but it's quite bulky to put inside a helmet. For me particularly, because I don't tend to have, for some reason, a lot of chin room in any of the helmets that I wear. Even the adventure helmets are pretty close fitting to my face, so there's not a lot of room there. And then you've got a whole host of other sort of connections that I have to worry about. But with this, if it works, this is waterproof. I've got nothing outside apart from this, which is waterproof. So even using this in poor weather should work relatively well. That low sun's a nightmare. There we go. Nice to be out on the Africa Twin as well, actually. I've had a host of press bikes at the moment, and this hasn't been out of the garage for a while. I've just done the XSR 900 review. I've got a Suzuki 800DE review coming up, which is a fabulous bike. Hopefully you'll enjoy that review. I've also currently got a Yamaha Nikon on test, which I'm going to do something maybe a little bit fun with that. And then I've got KTM's coming up and all sorts of bits and pieces. Okay, so let's just pick the pace up a little bit. We get to the national speed limit for a single carriageway. I've got the screen on the Africa Twin at its lowest position, so I should get a little bit wind noise, a little bit more wind noise, sorry, on the helmet. Let's pop the visor up and see what that's like. I'm expecting that to be quite a bit noisier. Hopefully you're picking up the engine tone. Yeah, I can't imagine that's going to be particularly good. So let's just stop somewhere and get that screen up. Okay. Good, screen in the highest position. It's filthy dirty, but at least, well, yeah, I've actually already got much less noise on the helmet. So here we are back at and a 55 to 60 miles an hour. It's amazing how much the hedges have grown up this year. Makes your line of sight a little bit more difficult. Oh, mammals. Okay, so let's get some visor up action with the screen in its highest position. Visor up at any kind of speed above kind of 15 miles an hour is always difficult. Almost doesn't matter what you're riding. So here we go, 30 miles an hour, visor open. It's quite blustery as well today. There's a little bit of a breeze out there. 30 miles an hour with the visor open, 30 miles an hour with the visor shut. And one thing I will do is play around in Final Cut Pro with some of the audio as well. Unless the audio that comes straight out of this is bang on, I don't know. I've also got to consider what the recording time is in terms of how much can be held on the phone, because that's something that you need to be aware of. So obviously I've just got the phone in my tank bag, which means I can't see what's going on. Ideally you'd have it mounted on the handlebar so I can make sure that it is still recording, it hasn't run out of space, because for all I know, the stuff that I'm rabbiting on about now isn't getting captured, and I'm just wasting my time. So let's just stop in the village hall around here, and then I can see how things are going on. But I think I've got enough in terms of recording to be able to work with. So I'm just going to stop, make sure everything's going, and then we'll get back home, get it onto the computer, and we'll see what it sounds like. Yeah, I mean, if this works, this is brilliant, because this just, the beauty of this camera is it just snaps on and off like this. Very easy to work with. He says, yeah, there we go, that's just snapped back on. No wires tripping through. This is completely sealed, so I don't have to worry about water getting in. I've got no external microphones plugged into this, so that is perfect. Let's open this up. It is still recording, 11 minutes 10 seconds of recording. So I will stop this now. All you do is hit save. I'll show you this because the audio from this should still be enough if I lift my voice a little bit. So hit save, I'll get a little beep in there. It's saved there, my Cardo recording there. The fifth one I've done. If I press the three little dots at the top, I can rename it, I can do whatever I need to, I can share it, and on the sharing options I can airdrop it to my computer, for example. I can send it in a message, I can post it on Instagram, I can do whatever I need to. So yeah, it's just that little button on the top. This could be a little bit of a game changer. So I'll cut this video off, and I'll cut this video off, and I'll see you back in the office. Okay, so there we go. I'm back in my rather untidy office now, just going through the footage and what are my conclusions. Well, the system works really well. The Cardo Connect app, once you've updated that voice recording button is just there. I've always found that that app connects very quickly and easily to the device. You switch it on, within a couple of seconds it's connected. So that's really useful, very easy to use. Hit the record and away you go. There were a couple of issues initially. Obviously I discovered that Bluetooth interruption paused the recording, so when I turned the Africa Twin on, it connected to my phone. It didn't cut the connection with the Cardo and the Cardo Record. All it did was pause it, and because I had my phone away in my tank bag, I didn't see that. So ideally you'd have your phone on some kind of mount on your bike so you can see it easily, and that's obviously going to make it easier to record and stop and all that whilst you're out filming. But the recording itself was really good. The voice capture is excellent. There is a bit of variance between having the visor open and visor closed, so you have to play around with that, but I think that works really well. The biggest drawback for me was the lack of ambient noise, so I wouldn't be able to use just that Cardo on its own for the videos, because it just, with no other, the voice was clear, it was good, but with no other external noise it wasn't good. So as you saw, I used the Insta360 audio, dropped down to -12 just to give some atmosphere. That was pretty good, but I will play around with that. I have got another voice recorder that I could use, so I'll maybe put that in a tank bag or a towel bag or a rucksack or in my pocket and use that to record the ambient noise, which may well get me better bike sounds, and then use the Cardo for the voice recording. But outside of that, it was good, nice and stable, very easy to do. Hats off to Cardo for listening to their clients and getting this added to the firmware. I think it's great. If you want to get into moto vlogging and you've already got one of these, then it's easy. You can just mount a camera to your helmet, using something like a Dango design mount where you can just clamp it onto the front and away you go. I like the fact that I've got no cables plugging into the camera itself, so I can keep that completely waterproof. I've got no risk of anything like that, so it is a good solution. I'm going to play around with it a little bit, but I think if you're getting into it, then it's a really good option. Also, having the option to be able to record the people that you're riding with, that conversation as well. I didn't get an opportunity to do that because I had to go out pretty quickly to get this video done, so I'll play around with that as well. But so far it looks like a really good solution. So yeah, if you've got any questions, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If you've got any comments on the audio quality, pop them down in the comment section below. And all that leaves me to say is until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.